Hello there, friends. Happy October. October is my favorite month of the year. I love Halloween. I love spooky stuff. So I have a spooky story for you guys today. And if you read the title, it's not really clickbait, but just stay tuned and you'll understand. Okay. I worked at Disney last year at Dumbo the Flying Elephant, which is a ride in Fantasyland, and inside the queue for Dumbo there is a playground type area. And this story happened one day when I was working in the Dumbo playground area. The story is real strange, you guys. One day I was working in the Dumbo playground area and I saw a little boy. He was about 5 years old and he didn't have his shoes on. I asked the little boy if he could put his shoes on and he told me he didn't know where his shoes were. Then I asked him where his parents were and he said that he didn't know where his parents were. So this happens all the time in the play tent because kids run off and they start playing on the slides and stuff and they have no idea where their parents sat down. It's no big deal most of the time. So I asked the little boy if he remembered the last time he saw his parents and he said that he couldn't remember. He gave me a very good description of what his parents were wearing. And so I took him around the play area to see if he could find his parents, and I was looking too. I was looking for anybody who matched a description of what he told me. So we walk around this whole playground and he told me that he did not see his parents. So I told him to stay with me while I went to go talk to my coordinator. I had a case of a signal 70, which in Disney terms is a lost child. I started asking the boy questions about like his age and just like different details about his day. I specifically remember he had a red shirt on that had his name on the shirt. It was like one of those Disney vacation shirts that everybody wears, and his name was Robert. So I asked Robert how long he had been in the play tent for, and he told me 4 hours. So I told my coordinator that Robert had just told me that he had been in there for 4 hours without his parents. And she was like, okay, we're gonna call security for signal 70. She told me to stay with Robert and just kind of like keep him company while we were waiting for security to show up. So we got into conversation. Now Robert was a very talkative boy. He began to tell me all about his family. He also named all of his siblings for me, and he told me like very specific details about them and his parents and all these details that could have not been made up at all. Like they were just like the most descriptive details of these people. He also started telling me these huge elaborate stories about his family and his brothers and sisters, and it was just like, it was like so strange, but I believed everything he was telling me. There was never a point where I was like, no, he's making all of this up. Like it was too realistic to be a lie. I also went on to ask him if he had made any friends while he was in the play tent for supposedly 4 hours, and he told me that he made tons of friends. All of these boys and girls that he met in the playground area, he made so many friends. I literally think I sat there and talked to Robert for like 30 minutes before security showed up. Then this is where things get very strange. So security came and we started talking to security and telling them about Robert. And then this guest comes up to us and she says, Robert, what's going on? We were like, okay, who is this lady? What? Robert said he didn't see anybody in there that he knew. We were all just like, very confused at this point. We told her that Robert said he was lost and didn't know where his parents were, and that he had been in the play tent for 4 hours. Robert is sitting over here very quiet. He's not saying a word about who this lady is or anything. And she tells us that no, they've only been in there for maybe like 45 minutes, not 4 hours at all. But she said that she was with Robert. The weird thing about this lady is that she did not match the description he gave me of his mom at all. Like, very complete opposite description. Like, it's nothing he could have just gotten confused. It was just like the literal opposite of what he told me. I didn't say anything. I was just like, whatever. I don't know what's going on at this point also. So security just brushed off the signal 70 like it was a misunderstanding and the imagination of a little boy. They left, and then Robert asked me if I could help him go find his shoes. So Robert took my hand and we started looking for his shoes. Robert looks at me and he goes, "You're the only friend I made in here." So I'm like crying, obviously, because bless Robert's heart, oh my gosh, he has just been in here like talking to nobody, and I'm the only person that he decided to talk to, and he thinks we're friends. And then Robert strangely led me directly to his shoes, which, if you remember, he originally didn't know where his shoes were, or at least that's what he told me. So we were climbing up inside the playground and Robert stops and he looks at me so seriously and he says, "That's not my mom." What? I was speechless. I didn't know what to do or to say to that. Like, a little boy who was lost just told me that the person claiming to be his guardian is not his mother. And he acted like he didn't know who she was at all, and I was just really, really confused. So I asked him who that woman was, and he says, "I don't know." And so in my head, I'm like, okay, how would she know his name if she didn't know who he was? And then I remembered that Robert had a shirt on that said his name. So theoretically, if this was a person that he didn't know that was trying to claim him, they could have just known his name because it was on his shirt. So me and Robert go back to the woman and she's like, "Okay, Robert, it's time to go." And Robert says, "No, I don't want to leave." That was the last that I ever heard from Robert. He literally hugged me and they left. Did I literally just let a child leave with a serial killer or a kidnapper? You guys, I was scared. It was like such a strange encounter, and everything Robert said to me was just like so weird. Like, still to this day, I am haunted by the words of a little boy saying to me, "That's not my mom." So it turns out this guest was Robert's caretaker or babysitter, but like, I don't know. I still think it was so much weirder than that. Like, what little boy just for funsies makes up this whole entire situation? I mean, I guess if he's a little boy by himself with like a babysitter in Disney World and his parents just like left him, maybe it makes sense then to realize that he's just gonna make up this whole world on his own. But I don't know, you guys, like, it was so weird. I can't explain how weird it was. Whoever that woman was, Robert did not like her, for one. Was Robert just highly imaginative, or did I literally give him to a serial killer. I guess I'll never know what truly happened to Robert, and the case will remain unsolved. Hey there, demons. I don't know. I think about that day a lot. I just really hope that Robert is doing well today. Wherever he may be, I just pray that he's doing okay. So that is the tale of the time that I gave a child to a serial killer at Disney World. That probably wasn't what you were expecting, but it really happened, and it was really very, very, very weird. Just like, put yourself in my shoes. You're working at Disney, you find a lost child, there's someone claiming to be their guardian, and then the little boy says to you, "That's not my parent." Like, it was so weird. In all seriousness, I think it's all okay. I think that there was nothing actually sketchy going on, but like I said, I just can't explain it. Like, it being in that moment, I was convinced that I gave Robert to a serial killer. I hope you guys enjoyed that spooky story. A big shout out to Morgan for watching. Thank you, Morgan. I hope you all have a magical day, and I will see you real soon. Bye!
A Dylan Rhodes film.